Now, yeah, I admitted, like I told you, around 98 or 2000 when I first got my computer, someone calling themselves Hillary said they were a certain age person around 14 to 16. But I taught them like I was just a teenage boy, not trying to get in their pants, right? Like I said as well. And never sent them any dick pics or anything like that. But like I said, by now, Hillary will be how old? Right. I know. Right. That's the point. Right. Trying to date in this world is murder, especially, right, for men, right? And you're out to get us because we don't know, again, right, all the rules, right? Sometimes, right? That's the issue as well. We also don't know if the girl ain't being played by someone else. Again, another problem. That's also entrapment. See, if a person is a male, right, playing a female, right, that's the lie to begin with, right? And especially if you're over age, right, of the age you're saying, right? See, you don't understand fantasy don't mean I'm going to act on it either. Right. Or really do it. And that's what I keep trying to explain to you. Some people can have a healthy fantasy life and not do their fantasies. But some people, you're right, can't discern what they're doing is actually wrong, right? But just because I'm mentally ill don't mean I don't use my diagnosis and my symptoms to try and not go too far with all that either. See, I just have a normal sexual appetite for any woman willing to be with me, but I know in general I'm supposed to be with one woman too, right? Just the problem is finding that one female. Right, we all know that problem, right? Especially in the modern day dating world, right? It's hard as crap to even date someone, right? Let alone if you're trying to be a Christian, trying to find a virgin type thing, right? But again, like I told Hillary, the person playing her anyway, I don't have to see you naked. You don't have to come here. We can just talk, right? Right. Until you're old enough to be with, right? See, that's what I told her as well, right? I'm not in a rush to, do anything with you, right? I could wait. I'm supposed to be maturer than you anyway, right? Now, if you happen to date a boy, I can't even get jealous, but like I said, right? Talking to someone over the internet ain't the same, right? Well, I know some people do that, right? It don't mean everybody is that, right? So you also got to pick the good ones from the bad ones too, who are just trying to date someone, period, until they're old enough to marry them, right? Even if I was to talk to Hillary, say, for 4 years over the internet and email her and all that, that wouldn't be long enough to establish a solid relationship without sex? Yes. That's the point. So that was in either 2000 to sometime around that time, right? But I still, again, treated the person who said they were around 14 or 15 like a 14-year-old, right? Too. I talked about her school. I talked about normal things she would have to deal with. And didn't go sexual with her at all. Like I was a little 14-year-old boy myself waiting for her to be old enough for me to actually be with, right? Right. You know what I mean? There too, right? And that's the point too. You could do that when you're trying to date somebody that's anonymous on the web anyway, right? You also don't know it's not, again, like I said, a fantasy type role playing, right? Now, what's the difference between a fantasy type role playing and reality, right? Say, for instance, the person acts like they can drink alcohol or want to drink alcohol, right? Well, really, only an adult can really talk like that. See, some people don't realize that older women want to act younger, like I told you before, and sometimes younger women want to act older, right? But you gotta also realize you gotta balance that out with reality too, right? Which is what I'm trying to do. Right, right. Now it's not like when I was working and any of the women I worked around tried to have sex with me in the bathroom or anything either, right? Even at Goodwill, right? Not that I recall, by the way, right? But I was talking to the Filipino girl and tell her how I dated the Filipino girl, right? And I didn't, though, do anything, right, to actually insinuated me and her were dating because she was also married, right? Now, I did say she had on a nice looking dress, but I did not talk about her boobs or her ass in the dress. Just said that her dress looked nice, and that's called a compliment, right? And that's above board. But the freaking manager acted all crazy about it, right? Like it's a big deal, right? To give her a compliment, even, right? No, if I talk about her body parts in the dress, not that the dress looked nice, right? On her, period, right? Now, if I said your boobs are showing through your breast, right? Your dress, right? That's sexual harassment, right? Right. But if I say you got on a nice looking dress, right? That's a compliment, right? Of her fashion statement, right? And not a crime. I'm not a crime. And not even sexual harassment. I'm not making it about her body, but her dress and how she looked nice in it, right? I'm even using, again, words that are not offensive, right? I'm not saying she looks hot. I'm not saying she looks sexy. I'm saying she looks nice. What else can you do? Now, the problem is if someone's out to get you, they're out to get you no matter what, right? You can't do right in their sight. That's the problem with people, right? Some people won't forgive or forget a mistake, right? That's why they keep bringing up the stepdaughter and pretending I brought her up first when it was them. I know. Now, if you got a 4-year-old stepdaughter, she's always going to be your 4-year-old stepdaughter, right? You can never change that. Your ex-wife got pregnant by another man before you met her, but you were willing to accept that and marry her anyway, right? Because you wanted a wife, not a stepdaughter, right? She wasn't even on the menu that way. But if being around her one time, briefly, for no more than 4 days, you want to indicate I molested her, well, first problem is she's sleeping in there with her mom. Second problem is she would have to come in there to me, which would indicate coaching even by the mom, right? Or at least the biological dad, who's the only two people who really have contact with, unless you're suggesting the grandma taught her to do that. That's what I mean. No. See, all these questions have an answer. No, no. Is the answer. No. No, the mom wouldn't want the girl to come in there and wake me up in the night. No, the dad wouldn't teach her to wake up a sleeping schizophrenic on the couch. And no, grandma wouldn't either. But those are the only people she could be around where she could learn that from, not me, right? In fact, sleeping on the couch, I don't really even have any contact with her normally, right? Except during breakfast, lunch, or dinner, depending on when we ate that Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, right? Sunday weekend, right? And then I was back on base because I requested it Monday, right? Like I said, right? And I'm not even around her more than the biological dad, right? So what am I going to do with her? Nothing, nothing. The most I could do to her or with her, and that depends on how she comes in there to me, right? Like I explained, 2 ways, right? Not one way or the other, right? I don't know how she came in there to me or not, right? So I got to tell you 2 ways, right? Not one way, right? To be a real hypothetical, right? Two. Right? See, I don't know how she came in there. She could have came partially in there and been standing by the door and staring at me till I woke up. I don't know, right? Or she could have came in there to me fully, right? And woke me up with her crotch in my face, even, right? Technically, right? But whichever she did, I'm not telling you I know for sure, 100%, which of the two choices she would do, right? That's making it a guess, right? Plus, I got amnesia from a wreck and a fall, which could affect my memory a little bit there, even if she did or didn't come in there or not, right? That's what I'm telling you as well. But none of this is criminal activity that I'm telling you. Even if I try to make sure she didn't pee by throwing her crotch, but not touching it, right? That's not a crime either. Nothing I'm doing is a crime, right? It's part of raising a 4-year-old, yeah, yeah, and younger and younger. If you're not sure of her potty training, because, like I said, what's she gonna be doing in the room with me besides maybe trying to go to the bathroom, right? To either pee or shower herself. And again, that would be only if mom didn't bathe her the whole weekend or something. No. I'm not saying she didn't. I'm not saying she did, but that would be the only reason she might would need to shower, right? You know what I mean, right? And I'm just saying, right? Hypothetically, there still, right? Again, that's one of the 4 reasons she would come in there to me up anyway, right? But none of what I'm saying is criminal, right? Or not something you can make up without it being a crime, right? Even if I took a shower with her and got undressed to do so, right? My mom did that with me when I was like the same age. Is that a crime for her? Is that bad parenting for my mom to take a shower with me? I didn't think so. But if I didn't know that, right, and I started to, right, but then thought better of it too, right, again, I would change my mind, right, and know when to change my mind, right? Right, whether it happened or not, too, hypothetically, right? Because, see, if I really did something criminal and they had some kind of evidence against me, I would have heard about it before now, not wait until now, right? Or the evidence is so flimsy they know I was probably really trying to do something normal. Maybe a little abnormal, but again. And like I said, this shouldn't even matter if she has a boyfriend, right? He should not care that I'm making up a story about the stepdaughter, right? It has nothing to do with him or her, right? And that's what I keep telling you. Well, I'm making up the story. I am lying, I know. I'm never saying what happened. You are. By saying I molested her in the first place, right? Those are big words right there, right there. So I gotta explain something that could have happened, but wouldn't be molestation, but would also fit within the storyline, right? Of what a parent can do with a child, whether a step parent or a biological parent, right? Now, even the stepmom, though, can bathe and shower the child, right? So can a stepdad on the same opposite hand, right? Do that too, right? Now, all I know is they're lying about even my keys being moved around my house where I don't know where they're at. And only 2 people or 2 reasons would you do that. A, someone came in who you didn't really know, so you hid your keys from them briefly, right? Thinking you would remember where you put them last, too, right? If you had to move them around after, coming in for the evening and locking all the locks on my door, which is a chain lock, a bolt lock, right? And also a normal lock, right? Even a sliding lock, right? You're not getting in that door unless I see who you are, right? That's why I got holes around the door, right? I can see you way before you can see me. That's right. That's right. And when you got paranoid schizophrenia, that's just going to up your paranoia, right? About letting someone in or hiding the keys, right? If they're not there when you get back, you know something's going on at night. And like when Mary Bell coming over, she would come over at night after she got off work from working at Burger King, right? And then we would bring her home about 2 or 3 in the morning, right? Even sometimes, right? After making love a couple times, about 3 times, right? Right, right. And then I would let her sleep a little bit too, right? And then bring her home, and then bring her home. But I never kept her longer than she wanted to stay either, right? Or I asked her to stay. One time she stayed in the morning, right? And didn't even go to school. Right? But again, that was in 96, right? And she was still 18, even if she thought she was a year younger, because she also was 19 when we met, right? So I was still legal with her, right? Anyway. And didn't try nothing to trick her, but I did try to let her know, look, I'm mentally ill, this ain't helping my situation. You're making me feel like you don't really want to be with me, you want to stay with your ex, and you won't stop using him as an excuse to be my girlfriend, right? So I gave up. Right. After so long, right. Right, right. Of trying to get her to be my girlfriend, right? Or to marry me or something, right? Legally. Not that the sex wasn't good, right? But you need more than that if the girl's letting the boyfriend or even some other guy control her life, right? You can't always understand why they do that, but even if they're threatening to kill her, right? Why would she put me in jail? Like I said, the one time I did follow them suddenly when he took off like a bat out of hell himself, right? And I don't know where he's taking my new girlfriend, right? And of course, then I'm gonna try and follow him if he does that himself, right? I don't know him either, right? I just started dating the girl, right? And he takes off like a bat out of hell heading towards the interstate, right? Exactly. And I don't know where he's taking her. I know. And it's not to his house, and it's not to his house. So he could be taking her anywhere, right? To rape her himself. Now, if she told me they were together, I would have been broke up with her too, right? And I would have broke up with her, right? Like I finally did anyway, right? Regardless of the fact that whatever she's thinking about it, even if she thinks I would kill her if she told me the truth, all I would have done is break up with her and bring her back to him and leave her and never see her again, right? And I told her that in the letters, whether she read them or not, right? Or got them or not, right? Like I said, I just want to date a normal woman who wants to date me equally, who don't have a lot of baggage, or her kids are grown, or she's within a certain age under me, right? And like I said, who can date me comfortably. Right? Exactly. Right. And not have to deal with nothing crazy while dating her. Right? I don't know. Right. I don't want to deal with a crazy son or daughter who might even try to seduce me somehow, right? And like you're accusing the stepdaughter of doing, right? That she would come in there and seduce the sleeping stepdad, right? On the couch, right? When she's in there with her mom, right? None of that made sense to me, right? Ever. Well, if I'm mentally ill, why do you even believe it? That can be made up, right? Part of the mental illness itself, right? What fool believes a mentally ill person who's sleeping on the couch and the girl on the mom, right? Anyway. That don't mean I ever tried to do anything with her, right? If I'm still on the couch in the morning, right? And I don't have a problem sleeping in the living room or on the couch or even in the bedroom, right? But the problem is, right, the girl could go to the bathroom, like I said, everybody knows that, right? And not even wake me up either. That's another way she get back. One of the 4 nights, right? And me not even know, right? She went. Now, I want the girl to know, though, I'm not trying to fuck you. I'm not trying to seduce you. Not that I would have a problem being with a woman who's probably as beautiful as you are now, right? And I'm saying that with a certain, awareness of females, right? She's a little mulatto from her mom and dad, right? She might be a beautiful woman when she gets older, right? But I'd never seen her. I never stalked her. I stayed in Georgia and she was in Arkansas or Texas or wherever with her mom. I know. And I never met her, right? After that either. You don't go messing with your ex stepdaughter that way, right? You don't write her. You don't really talk to her on the phone a lot because she's not your daughter. She's hers and her biological dad's, right? And they're the only ones who had full contact with her anyway, not me, right? All I can do is if she comes in there to me, like I said, is I know to bring her back to her mom as fast as possible, right? Or the most I can do is make sure she didn't pee herself if I'm trying to figure out if she's trying to pee or not, right? Which, like I said, that can get a little weird, right? Because you gotta smell her to make sure she didn't pee. And, of course, you might have to take off her panties if she's in the living room with you to walk to the bathroom or the toilet, right? Which could be about a 5 or 6 foot walk for a child, which is several steps, right? But other than that, right, you're not going to do nothing too crazy, right? Other than, ask her the usual questions. You need something to eat or drink, right? Only two other reasons, too, right? And each reason is a realistic reason, right? Not too crazy and not too out of there, right? And this person just keeps attacking the stories, right? Like they're neither real nor not real. Like they know I touched her. Well, even Daphne wouldn't know because she wasn't in the room with us. Because if she was in the room with us, I wouldn't even be able to do anything like that, right? Again, she couldn't even watch us with the mirror or something, right? Because I might well see her hand, right? You know what I mean, right? If you try to use a mirror to peek behind her, another area of the house, right? That's the only way you might could see around, right? To see if I was doing something with her or not. Or you had a video camera under the TV, right? Which again sounds suspicious if she's in there with me at all, right? It sounds like entrapment, right? That's the problem. That would be entrapment, right? I'm not normally dealing with a 4-year-old I hardly know and ain't aware of her potty training level, right? With her grandma, right? But if she's in there with me, trust me, that's all I'm going to be thinking about is what she need. And she didn't ask me for no water or something to eat, right? Which usually they'll ask you that question, like I said before, right? Can I have something to eat or can I have something to drink, right? Or I want some water. They'll just flat out tell you that, right? And then there she is, right? She would tell you those two things, and you would hear those questions if it was my ex-wife in the other room, right? But if you don't hear those two questions, right, then whatever we did, it seems like the child's also allowing me to do it, kind of, right? Almost as if she would be familiar with that because she was potty trained by her grandma, right? You know what I mean? Nothing is outside of the realm of crazy either or normal child rearing at the age of 4, right? Where the stepdad sleeping on the couch don't know how well she's potty trained, but if she's in there with him, that's what you would assume, right? She might need help going to the bathroom, right? And is a little scared, maybe, right? Now, maybe I should have thought of turning on the light, right? Unless my light was on in the living room, right? But the TV is also I can sleep, right? I can sleep with the light on, can you? Right. And it's the whole point, right? But that's also so she could turn on the light herself. At 4, she should be able to reach the light. She should be, right? That's all that, right? Even if I took everybody to the living room, right? I could think, that's all I can think of, right? You could do there, right? But I'm also thinking about it logically within a perimeter of stepdaughter to stepdad with a pure conscience towards the child, not trying to think anything sexual, right? Which I wouldn't do until maybe after that. Like I said, if he does all that, I'm like, wow. Then I'd be like, whoa, who showed you that? So if she's in there with me at all and her crotch is in my face, I'm like, oh, who showed you that, right? And one has a quicker remedy than the other, but both can fall into the line of, you still think she had to be, right? Right. That's all I know, right? She would do all that for her, right? And you can still do the same things, right? Undress her in front of the couch at the end, and then you'd have to walk further. Like I said, right? Or bring her in front of the TV from the couch, like I said. We're talking about a made up story anyway, right? Within reality, but not a crime, right? But that might could be misconstrued as sexual, but really ain't too, right? Because if they had anything sexual on me, I wouldn't be talking to you now. I'd already be in jail, right? And if I'm the kind of man to mess with children, I would also be in jail, right? Which I'm not. I know. I'm sorry, but I would sooner have an adult woman, even if she has a couple of kids, rather than a child. Even Kim Kardashian West with 4 children is more appealing to me than a 4-year-old, right? Not that I know Kim either. But I'm just saying. I would even fantasize of Kim before a child, right? You know what I mean? I don't know her, right? Never met her, right? Only saying what I would do with her, and it's still hypothetical, right? If I had her like the thieves in the Paris incident, right? One night in Paris and the world Georgia, right? Dude, they have chests there. I think, right? Therefore I am, right? Billy Eilish, right? And you are, and you was, and you is to come. And we all is, was, and is to come. We're in a loop, by the way, right? Even if they burnt Jesus to a crisp and made him ashes, right? God can still raise him from the dead, right? Look at the 3 Hebrew children in the fiery furnace, Peter. I guess, right? Now, if I find out my Messiah is androgynous and I thought he was male, that might cause me to act a little crazy, I guess. And really use the disciples to, steal his body, right? But there again, if I burn the body, that's a bit eccentric, but Jesus could raise from the dead. And a woman you burn for witchcraft might not can, right? Which is why he would be doing it. And see, then he would see her as a witch, right? Because of the witch of Endor, right? And he also thought he caught up Moses and Elijah, like I told you, right? But that could be his mistake, right? And it wasn't Moses and Elijah at all, right? It was 2 more versions of him, right? Because other people thought, right? made three, right? Because they're 3 in 1, right? 3 from 1, right? They could be 2 from 1 to make Satan, right? Before Eden. While they were making the Garden of Eden, right? Before it became the Garden of Eden, right? If you read the story right, they had to make it from scratch, right? Even if we say keep destroying the planet and we blow to hell everything, right? Ourselves, right? God can still have to terraform it, right? Back to how it was before the fall. And that still could take up to 6,000 years to do so, right? Do you see what I mean? Right? Not 24 days necessarily, right? But maybe 6,000 years, right? Because a day is as 6,000 years to the Lord, right? Or, 1,000 years to the Lord, right? So if you got 6,000-year days, that's 6,000 years, not a day, or 24-hour earth period, right? And that's really from heaven to earth, right? Mm-hmm. That it's measured that way, right? So heaven has something that revolves, right? And it takes it 1,000 years to revolve, right? That's its day, right? And so it takes it 1,000 years, but it takes us 24 hours, right? is still comparatively 1,000 years for its day, whereas our day is 24 hours, right? Plus that 1,000 years, which makes up its day, right? And it takes it and the Earth 1,000 years to equal its day, right? At the same time, right? As it's rotating, right? Just like the sun rotates on its axis, and it takes it 30 Earth days to do so, right? That's the solar day, though, to the sun, right? That's how long it takes it to rotate, right? Even the planets rotate differently and longer, some longer, some shorter, right? And again, right, this is common knowledge if you want to learn it, too, right? This is science, this is tech, this is, right, all that. And see, God ain't against good knowledge, right? Or anything that's good, but when you use it for evil, to harm your fellow man, then it's evil to everyone, right? That's the point, right? Okay.